All right, we've got the budget coming on Tuesday night, and a lot of people. What does this mean, Mark? What does this mean? That actually don't understand negative gearing or capital gains or what it means to a tenant or a landlord. We're going to talk about it today. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Billy Drury, the old man stuck in a young man's body. How are you?
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, the news headlines exploded last night. It's like, the Twitter effect, where it's like everywhere you look, it's just capital gains tax, it's negative gearing, it's 40 years of underwriting tax, without big repercussions. We're going to talk about it this morning.
Oh, what's the net effect to tenant and DY? What's the net effect to a landlord in Manly?
Yeah.
With all these possible changes coming through, it's it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so like they're talking this could be some of the biggest reform work in 40 years. And I actually think we're going to try and make this not too much of a bias show. We're going to try and keep it fairly level. I'm not really one for politics either, if I'm honest. I like to try and stay away from it. But I read headlines like this, and it's hard not to be biased when we're on the front with the tenants and with the landlords, who are going to be feeling these effects. And I can just give you so many relatable examples here how this is going to really hurt people.
Yeah, look, I don't mind a bit of hard work or pain. Like I'm not scared of hard work, and I understand as an economy there's hard work to do. We've got some serious debt in the country, and we've got some serious work to do. So it's
Yeah.
I don't mind rolling up the sleeves and getting shit done as a country and as an economy, or taking a bullet, because we're all in it together. But I think it's we've got to be real careful about these changes that come into place and making sure they're the net. The actual real effect is going to be good for us.
Yeah, so tomorrow's topics of conversation, two big ones. One, negative gearing. What is it at the moment? Well, if you're a landlord and your property expenses exceed more than the rental income, you can offset that loss against your personal tax income. That's what we're talking about.
And look, I think in baby talk, the government incentivise a landlord for being a landlord. So
Thank
they
you.
say,
Yeah.
right? So they're saying, we're going to help you at the beginning, at the early period of your investment. We're going to help you keep that property, own that property, because we realise that if you own that property, then that's going to be a home for a prospective tenant, for a family. So we're going to do it together with you. We're going to help. We're going to supply more investment properties for tenants in the country. So
Yeah.
any de-incentification on that is going to push rents up.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that net effect in a moment because, yeah, supply is what is basically the seed of everything else that grows from it. No supply, you're no crop. And then capital gains tax. So at the moment, any gain realized on a property sale at the moment can be 50% excluded after 12 months, but that's going to be relooked as well. So, I mean, developers rely on investors to buy property. They're the ones developing the property. It's another vital piece of the cogs that need to turn in order to produce property and supply for tenants out there.
I was talking with some really smart people on the weekend, not property people, asked me to please explain capital gains tax. And I was like, how can you not know this? So I think probably a good part of the country doesn't actually understand what everyone's talking about when they're talking about capital gains tax. So basically, I'll going to dumb it down again to make it real simple. Is it's de-incentivizing a landlord. I don't think that it'd be interesting if they target owner occupiers here as well. It's de-incentivizing a landlord by taxing them more for the whole asset. So when they go to sell the property, they're going to tax them more. And you may think to yourself, well, how does that even matter? How would that affect them buying a property? Well, why are they going to buy in an asset class if it's heavily taxed or more taxed when they can just move to stocks or move to other asset classes to make their investment? So it's another de-incentivization for a landlord, for instance, to buy because they're getting heavily taxed again. So it's almost like a double tax that is going to be introduced potentially to a landlord in this budget, which will, the knock-on effect is the landlord goes, nah, I'll just take my money elsewhere. And there's less rental properties in the pool, hence rents go up.
And this is going to hit everyone. Like the real life example I can give you is a one property investor landlord in Neutral Bay Mossman. The outgoings with mortgage, $1,000 a week. The rent coming in $650 a week. That net loss of $350 a week is, you know, between sort of 18 to 20,000 a year. And at the moment that serves a purpose with negative gearing. We're talking about affordable housing here and trying to supply affordable rents. That rent to mortgage, there is a big disparity there. So if that landlord exits the market, there's one less property in the supply chain there, but also the effect of that tenant then buying the same property, his to live the same lifestyle, it's another 35%. Crazy.
Bill, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
You're a simple bloke. I'm a simple bloke. What's your gut telling you?
I just see a world of pain coming for rents. So we've been following rents particularly since COVID, particularly on our area, like for our area on Northern Beaches, where it's a desirable lifestyle location, and rents have already gone through the roof. So Lisa's put it well here. Everyone's a loser. I see rent going through the roof again, and I think they need to, because it's the only way the landlord can sustain keeping the accommodation with interest rates going up, with with everything else.
Don't blame the landlord. Don't blame the landlord. Do not blame the landlord. This is going to be a mass exodus of a lack of entry of investors and a huge exit of investors, and it has been the last couple of years, which has pushed these rents up. It's just a net sum game. You just work it out for yourself, guys. Why do rents go up? Because they can. Why can they? Because there's less landlords in the marketplace. More landlords. It's like a watch. If there's millions of them, they're cheap. If they're one of one, they're expensive. So there's less and less rental properties out there. Before we go, I just want to say the actual landlord that's retaining a property now is less affected. So you only realise the capital gains tax if you sell the asset. So it's going to lock in a whole bunch of landlords. That's good. It's going to lock in a lot because they're going to have to pay more, depending on the grandfathering or whatever. But I think that for me personally, I ain't feeling good about. I think I counted in the last. This is the most aggressive I've seen rental increases in my 30-year career. I've never seen rental up, like growth like this. Another contributing factor is the lack of new building supply being dropped into the grid. but I've never seen rents go up like this. So I think it's a really interesting landscape. Look, I know we can always undo or repeal any of these laws that potentially come through, or these budget changes that come through in time, but I just can't help to think in one sentence. I'll put all of this. I can't help to think that I remember a couple of decades ago they said it's the recession we had to have, and I can't help to think that these decisions are really going to put us into a tailspin as an economy, net overall. So it's concerning.
I think my biggest piece here is that sure, you can undo policies that don't work, but it's the sentiment of the landlord coming into the market, and they're trying to help first home buyers, which then become first home investors. And if there's a betrayal of trust or not knowing where you actually stand as a landlord, I just think people won't be bothered. I think people let's be honest, we're not exactly limited on choice where to put our money these days. There's just about a million different ways to go and spend your money. So, if people want to exit the market, we know what that effect takes. But let's talk about people's trust here, because the election was promised that capital gains tax and negative gearing was not going to be touched, and let's see what happens tomorrow.
And I think that trust is, if you look at it in any of your business or personal relationships, when that's compromised, that's when stuff really gets mucked up. And that's a big thing that you mentioned there, and I was going to bring that up as well. I think that that feeling that, irrelevant to whether the coalition or whoever they are, it's just the fact that that trust is betrayed. And I think our government we've always had some element of trust of, we know they won't do that because, so when that trust, probably bigger than anything we've, the items of negative gearing, all the items of capital gains, that trust thing, I think is just a bloody huge one.
Well, that's the politics aside. It really doesn't matter who you poll for. It's just people don't want to see rents go through the roof. No one wants to see that happen to their kids or to themselves. 50% up in 5 years. Like, no one wants to see that. So,
no. What's Lisa going to say again there? It's very vocal this morning, this lady.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day, Lisa. The people got roped in under false pretenses with this government saying they wouldn't touch this space. And that, I think, is probably where people's frustration comes from. It's like interest rates. It's quite a sensitive topic. Again, politics aside. But when you kind of put something out there as a message to say, no, nothing is going to happen here, and then 13 rate rises, it's like,
that's what they said.
So, yeah, watch this space.
And what happens to you if you say something to your wife and you don't do it? You get smashed.
Anyway, look.
Never mind a government doing it. It's terrible. But anyway, you just can't do that. But have a lovely day. Good luck with the budget tomorrow night, everyone. And we'll just we'll just have to work harder by the sounds of it.
We finished on a good note. So for the existing landlords, the good news is, I think most of the speculation seems to be that if you've got an existing property, that won't be impacted. Negative gearing might stay for that.
Yeah.
And what about for the new landlords? What's your dialogue there?
You're gonna get for new landlords, you're going to achieve positive gearing faster than you would have ever seen in the last 30 years. So if you buy a property, it will get to paying itself off faster than it's ever done. So because those rental rises are going to be radical. So it's a good time to get in, because because your interest rates will be similar, your loan will be the same, but the biggest change is going to be in rent increases. So, but that's positive news for getting in now. Yeah.
There you go.
Or if you
Or you can
if you exchange if you exchange in the next 48 hours, you will probably be exempt from any of this talk that's currently going on. It'll be
less.
done from probably midnight on the budget.
I think you got less. The hourglass is really ticking down. So yeah, you've got basically today to buy your investment property, but trust
Yep.
your real estate agent to find the silver lining. That's
Just
what
call
I'll say.
us.
As always
Just call
positive.
us. Just give us a call.
Uh,
Thanks,
good
Bill.
stuff. Have a good
Take
day.
care. See ya. Bye.